This week, we learn about a new chapter beginning at Tupelo High School. We also meet a football standout who has received multiple offers from top colleges around the country.
But that's all over.
Welcome back to another episode of WTHS News. I'm Julia Jane Averette. Recently, Tupelo High School students got a unique opportunity thanks to our school librarians. Thomas turns the page.
This spring, Tupelo High School begins a new chapter with opening a brand new book vending machine to reward various students for their hard work inside the classroom. Ms. Reed, a media specialist here at THS, shares her vision for creating this fun project.
Well, we were actually on a committee where we were looking for grant ideas, and we came across this book vending machine and we loved the idea. We wrote a grant for it, but then we didn't realize that Parkway had already done so. They received their book vending machine, and I believe Milam had received one as well, and we decided that that was something we could benefit from here at THS.
With the book vending machine being one of Tupelo High School's newest additions, Ms. Johnson highlights how the special project will benefit various students on campus that love to read.
I think this is really going to benefit Tupelo High School students, especially those freshmen that are over in H building. Sometimes it's harder for them to come over to the media center, and it's not just for them, but this way they can check out, put a little coin, check out a book. They don't have to return it, but I do believe that we're going to do maybe some type of little return just in case they want to pay it forward.
Despite the many challenges of creating this project, Mrs. Reed said he finally found just the right design to best suit Tupelo High School.
They gave us some freedom in the design, so I reached out to Dylan Hutton, and he came up with a couple of designs. We shared it with the administrators and picked the best one that suited our school.
Not only will the book vending machine provide a learning experience, but it will reward many accomplished students here at THS. Dr. Thomas shares her testimony on how this project will soon encourage many students to do the right thing.
Well, I think anytime we have an opportunity to reward our students for giving us a good effort and just for doing things we ask them to do, anytime we can reward them is a good thing, but when we can reward them with reading material that's popular, that a lot of our students are reading at no cost to them, then I think it's going to be beneficial and it will cause more kids to do the right thing.
Coming right up.
The book vending machine will definitely be a hit and will continue to grow and excel in the years to come. I'm Thomas Roper, WTHS News.
Thank you, Thomas. What a great learning resource for Tupelo High School students. On another note, the Golden Wave Orchestra recently performed their final show. On April 18th, the Tupelo High School Orchestra wrapped up their semester with their spring showcase, joined by Milam and Tupelo Middle School's orchestras. The seniors were celebrated throughout the night with solos, banners, and a special senior slideshow. Hannah Ruth Culp shares her journey with the Golden Wave Orchestra.
The Golden Wave Orchestra was the first orchestra I've been in, and I made a lot of friends, and it helped me a lot with sight reading and playing rhythms.
The Tupelo High School Orchestra had a memorable season, from getting to perform with Structure in the winter to traveling to Chicago for a competition this spring. Speaking of traveling, DECA just got back from nationals in Orlando, Florida. 24 students from Tupelo High School traveled to Orlando to participate in the International DECA Conference. Over 20,000 participants gathered from all over the nation and even from other countries.
So on Sunday I took a test, and then on Monday I presented my presentation. I was given a prompt, and this year's prompt was that you had to convince a bank owner to go completely virtual.
Out of all these students, Simmer Gill and Connor O'Daniel made it to the finals in their events. Connor even made the top 10 in professional selling.
And so when I was doing my presentation on Monday and I thought I was doing bad, and as I was still giving my presentation, I just kept going and didn't stop and wasn't like, oh man, I'm doing so bad. I just kept going. And so I learned how to like persevere in times like that.
These awards were the best ending to an amazing week for DECA. With the end of the school year approaching, several of our Golden Wave teams are looking to finish the season strong. Alexis tells us more in this week's sports.
Hey everyone, I'm your host once again, Alexis Leasy, and welcome back to this week's edition of your Sports Media. Shout out to archery as they went early to Jackson last week for their state championship and placed in 6th. Last Monday, our baseball team also fought hard as they played against East Union but fell short by 1 point, ending the game East Union 6, Tupelo 5. If you know the Reed family, you know they play a big role in baseball here at Tupelo. Max gives us insight into their hard work and dedication.
Baseball is a family sport. Dads make sure to play catch with kids when they are young. Parents and kids have baseball as a special connection to each other, but here at THS, we have something more special. Coach Justin Reed and Lake Reed are a father-son duo. Coach Reed has coached Lake since he's been in the 8th grade, but how does he coach his own son?
I wouldn't say that I started out coaching him I probably started out coaching him harder than everyone else. But no, I mean, he's just another player, and we try to make sure we coach him the same way as we do everyone else. Expectations are probably a little higher from the dad side, but from the coaching side, it's hard to have to make sure we separate those.
Having his dad as a coach makes Lake work harder.
A lot. It's taken a while to get used to, but it's better in every situation. It makes me 10 times better than if he wasn't my dad.
Coach Reed says one of Lake's biggest accomplishments is being a good teammate.
Then he's been with us 9th grade and catching the guys that he has and been able to see, catching the Hunter Elliott's through in the national championship, Mason Morris's, McLean Ray's, now Jonathan Rogers and Jacoby's and some of those guys and how he's matured through the whole process was probably his greatest accomplishment.
Lake is committed to the University of Memphis. Lake has inspirations for why he plays baseball.
Probably both my parents. They both got me into it at an early age, and watching him coach and play, I was drawn to it, and I've loved it ever since.
A father-son duo is something special, but coaching your son and having your dad as your coach, especially at the high school level, is just as special. This is Maxinas, WTHS News.
Thanks, Max. This past Tuesday, they played in the first round of playoffs and will travel to DeSoto Central to continue the series. Our softball team has also been hard at work to dominate in their category. Congrats to the Lady Wave as they became division champs, ending the regular season 14-1. They played at Nettleton last Tuesday. 2 seniors from the team share how the last season has been.
I feel like as a team, we've grown a lot more to work with each other, build bonds, and just be a team.
My best memory is from in practice, when we stopped practice and got snow cones.
I'm excited about seeing what we can do, how far we can go, and set our goals, things like that.
Our seniors aren't the only ones making hard hits. Our upcoming classmen have gotten a chance to show it at the annual Jamboree this past Tuesday. Braxton spotlights a junior making big plays on the turf.
The Tupelo High School football team has a good defense, but one player stands out. His name is Tristan Jernigan, who started as a junior and has made an impact on the team.
I swear I'm from no grave, all y'all niggas in the way. I swear my life.
Tristan has many offers, but he talks about the one offer that stood out the most to him.
It was a great offer. I mean, I cried for a minute. My parents was happy.
Tristan defined what everyone thought about him, especially what he thought about himself.
Nah, I never did. My parents, they would always ask me, what would you do if I didn't get the offer? And now I got it. But, I mean, the job's not finished.
Tristan is not only doing this by himself, he has many people that love him and love seeing him do what he loves.
What kept me motivated was my parents, and then I kept getting more offers other than Oregon.
Tristan talks about his goals for his senior year.
My goals are to become a better tackler and field jumper and just ball out again and hopefully win a state championship.
Coach Shoup is a defensive coach who knew what to do with a kid with this much talent.
Tristan was a kid that moved in from Alabama before his sophomore year, really late in summer. So his biggest adjustments was trying to just get to know the kids, get to know the coaches, getting involved in our program.
Coach Shoup says they moved him to inside backer before his junior year, which is where he is now.
He's a really good teammate. I think he's a guy that leads vocally.
I'm Bryson O'Neill with WTHS News.
Thanks, Braxton. While the guys were dominating in their category, the girls were showing out too. Congrats to our Lady Wave soccer team as they won the Powder Puff tournament last week. We hear from one of their coaches, London Fields.
To be honest, they adjusted really well to playing, like from going from soccer to football. They actually did really good. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't think they'll be able to catch football because they play soccer, they kick everything, right? So, but they actually did really good, and I was very, very impressed.
Our golf team held the Tupelo National at the Country Club and also played this past Thursday. They started the week off in Biloxi for the Girls State Championship. They then went back on Wednesday for the series. Our track team was also out of town in Oxford for the annual regional meet. We take a look into their season.
Really just to move through and get top four with Andrew and Jaheim and just stay smooth and save energy for next week, which is state.
Good luck to our softball team as they plan to play tonight in the playoffs, and track as they have the North Half State meet tomorrow in Clinton. Thank you so much for watching this week's edition of Sports Media. Come back next week for your updates. I'm Alexis Leasy, WTHS Sports Media.
Thanks, Alexis. Tupelo has many stellar athletes shining on and off the field. Moving on, Vocal Jazz is taking the stage tonight to perform their end-of-the-year concert. The concert features performances from Mad Jazz and Tupelo High School's newest a cappella group, High Tide. The director, Dr. Susie Williams, has chosen to make the performance a benefit concert for the Amory School District after a devastating tornado damaged parts of the high school.
We are targeting the school system and, to be more specific, needs that they have in the fine arts department. So we are gonna, once we get the donations together, we will contact the school system and say we'd like to make a donation to your arts program and for you to use it on something that would benefit the fine arts students.
Dr. Williams and all of the Vocal Jazz students hope to help rebuild the Amory Fine Arts Department through the benefit concert. It is a free event and all proceeds will go to the Amory School District. We hope you take the time this weekend to go and show support to these talented students. That's all we have for this week's edition of WTHS News. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching this episode and have a great prom weekend.